Okay, Jack, fixture predictions in the flesh. Welcome to my living room. What we're going to go through is our predictions for Game Week 12, results and impact on FPL assets. So let me start by kicking it to you. The 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, Leicester at home to Chelsea.
Sure. Yeah, Leicester-Chelsea. I predict a Chelsea win. I'll probably have to nail me on a score. I'd go 3-1. 3-1 Chelsea. I think they're really strong. And Leicester just haven't quite got going, Josh. So I'm going to go 3-1. I think they've got enough in them to score a goal. You know, a Tielemans long ranger or a Vardy classic. But I think Chelsea will have too much for them. What about you?
Yeah, interesting. Because, I mean, for a lot of people, that means don't play your Chelsea defenders. But that's cutting ahead a little bit. But I also agree that it's going to be a Chelsea win. I do think their defence is good enough to stop Leicester. So I'm going to be a bit more conservative and go for a 1 or 2-0 to
Chelsea. Sure.
I'll stick my neck out and say 1-0.
Sure, 1-0, okay. So we both think Chelsea are going to win. What about FPL assets for this game?
Well, I said it was going to be a clean for Chelsea. So that's play your defenders, whoever you've got, be it your Chiellys or, you know, even your Rudigers for Chelsea, that is. And then in terms of Leicester, you know, if you've got your Vardys, I think, like me, if you have him, you're in a position probably where you don't have an automatic step in for him. So you're banking against my prediction. But I think I wouldn't play him if you have a really good option off the bench.
You wouldn't play Vardy?
I wouldn't play Vardy if I had a really good option. Yeah.
See, I would. I like to play all my attacking assets.
Ooh, okay.
If I've got them, regardless of fixture, especially a premium like Vardy. But definitely don't captain. I mean, you wouldn't captain Vardy anyway. Play all your Chelsea players, and I'd bench, if you have them, your Leicester defence, but it's unlikely you've got them. If you've got Schmeichel, then you've probably haven't got a playing goalie on the bench, so play him. If you are rotating, I'd probably rotate Schmeichel out for this one, would you say?
Yeah, Chelsea firm favourites.
Yeah, good. Let's move on to the next fixture, shall we?
Indeed.
It's my beloved Villa against Brighton. Stevie Gerrard's first game, Josh. What are you thinking?
I think Villa at home with a new manager, they're going to have enough bounce, I think, for a 0-0 draw. And I know that sounds like...
Wow.
I know that sounds like...
Buy your tickets now to Villa Park.
Exactly. If you haven't got them already, get in the whole end. But what I'm thinking is, although there'll be a bounce in the Villa team, I think Brighton are very good defensively.
Yeah.
And the concern would be, are Brighton going to play well enough to kind of really turn over Villa? I don't think that's going to be the case. But I think that Villa and Stevie are going to want a result of more than an entertaining game. So despite the bounce, I think it will fizzle up for the first 15. Brighton will stop them, and then it will kind of fizzle down and end up in a 0-0.
Minute by minute
breakdown.
I think Brighton are going to win.
Oh, no, Jack.
Yeah, despite the Gerrard bounce, I think Brighton are very good, and we have lost 5 in a row. You know, we're not playing well. We don't know what we're doing. Gerrard's going to go with a 4-3-3. We've been playing 4-3-3 quite a bit to no avail.
They know it.
They know how to lose in it.
True.
So yeah, I'm not optimistic as a Villa fan on this one. Obviously hope we win, but I think Brighton's the wrong fixture for us at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, Brighton win, I'm afraid. What about FPL wise? Any players you like on either of these teams?
Well, I think one thing we're both agreeing on is maybe a strong Brighton defensive performance. I thought it was going to be 0-0. You're saying Brighton going to turn over Villa. So that's play your defenders, you know, your Duffys, Dunks, whoever else you've got at the back. But if you had, and I know a lot of people are kind of jumping on the Trossards maybe, would you play a Trossard in this game?
Yeah, definitely. Trossard's in that bracket of midfielder that you want that cheap midfielder that you want to bring in at the moment, that are hot at the moment, along with ESR, Zaha, Gallagher. Trossard is actually, I think he's had the most shots in the box of any non-striking player so far this season. So Trossard, he's a good player, isn't he? And I think out of the Brighton lot, because I think Lamptey is now fit again, but I think he's always an injury waiting to happen. So yeah, I think Trossard's the one.
Lovely.
Definitely the highlight. Villa players avoid, see what Gerrard does. You don't know who's going to drop or who's going to play. Is he going to prefer? Oh, the defence going to be better? We don't know, do we? So,
well, despite that, our predictions, I do hope that Gerrard does well, so he can join Liverpool in 3 years' time.
Yeah, we're not in the business of hope here, are we? In this video,
no,
we're in the business of
cold, hard facts,
accuracy.
Great. Enough about the villains. Sorry, Jack.
Fine by me.
On to the third fixture, another 3:00 kick-off on the Saturday. Burnley at home to a very tasty Crystal Palace.
Yeah. Exciting fixture.
Yeah, it is.
Palace, it's got to be a Palace win. I mean, Burnley are funny. They can just pull out a random win when you don't expect them to, like we saw with Brentford. But I think Palace are the informed team at the moment. One of the informed teams in the league. Vieira's got them playing really well. I'll go for 2-0 Palace, is what I'd predict. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going with you in the fact that I think it's going to be a Palace win. I don't think it's going to be particularly convincing, because you're right, Burnley can pull out a performance. So a bit more cagey for me, like a 1-0 to Palace.
Yeah.
But close. So what that does mean, I guess, naturally, segueing to the FPL assets, is play your Palace assets, your Zahas, your Gallaghers, and who the hell has got Burnley assets?
Some Chris Woods floating about, maybe. Some
True,
Cornets. He looks all right.
Yeah, good point, yeah.
Cornet looks good. I think if I had to go between Cornet and Wood, I'd probably go Wood. Just about, because he's got the pedigree, but Cornet looks really good.
Would you? Okay.
I would. So, yeah. And, yeah, Palace assets, people are bringing in Gallagher now. I think he's a great signing. I think Zaha's a really good pick if you can fit him in to your team. And people are talking a bit about Benteke, but I think the striking situation there, Benteke's still not very good, is he, anymore, sadly. So, yeah, the Palace midfield is where you want to aim for. So that's Burnley Palace. What was your prediction, sorry, on that one?
It was a 1-0.
1-0
to Palace.
Low scorer. Okay. Yeah. So the next game, Josh, is Newcastle against Brentford. Tough one to call, I would say. What do you reckon?
It is a tough one to call. So I think, a few weeks ago we would have been saying this is the game that we've been waiting for Brentford, to turn around that result. But we've seen a bit of shake in their form, haven't we, really, in the last few weeks? So I think it's going to be a bit closer than we thought it was going to be. But I still think Brentford are good enough to put away Newcastle even away. So I think there'll be goals in it for both sides. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Brentford.
Cool. Yeah, I'm enjoying watching Newcastle flounder even after the takeover. But Brentford, yeah, what a disappointing run of results for them. Like, we held on to them for Norwich. Was it Norwich and Burnley they've had the last two and lost both of them? Or they drew with Norwich, maybe?
And there's those, those Burnley resilience.
No, they lost to Norwich, didn't they? That was Norwich's first win.
Yeah.
Just... I don't know about this one. I think Newcastle might do it,
Wow.
Yeah, I think Brentford, what are you doing? I think Newcastle could, with their new manager bounce, get a win. Well, maybe I'll go the draw, 1-1 draw.
And
1-1 draw.
It sounds like you're on the fence. Are you on the fence with your Mbuemos and your Tonys?
Well, no, like we said in the pod, I'm keeping them for this one. You got to keep them.
Yeah.
You got to keep them. If you don't bring any in now, whatever you do, but if you've got Tony and Mbuemo, keep them and hope for the best with this fixture. If they blank in this one, that's it for them. They should be top of your list to get out, because if they can't do it in this one, when are they going to do it?
Exactly. Got to do it against the Toon.
Yeah, so there we go, Brentford, last chance for you lot. Right.
They'll get this message, they'll watch this.
Yeah, they'll be watching. Is it my turn to say the fixture?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. Norwich, another classic. Norwich, Southampton.
Interesting. So, Norwich have been the whipping boys this year, but I think since switching to 3 at the back, with and without Farker, they've shown a little bit more stubbornness, haven't they? And Southampton don't exactly...
Keep going.
So Southampton don't exactly have, that attacking, outright attacking threat. So I'm going to go with a 0-0 here. I think that Southampton will be the better team, but I think it's just going to be a bit of a, rubbish game.
I think you're giving Norwich too much credit here.
Maybe.
I would go, although Dean's at the helm now.
Exactly.
Godspeed, Dean.
He'll fight, you'll make him fight.
Good luck to you, Dean. Miss you already, really. But I think Saints are quite good now.
Yeah.
I think they're going to beat them 2-0.
Okay.
Is what I'll say for this. So, yeah.
Just play all your Saints assets.
Yeah, look to get it. If you haven't got Livramento now, get him in.
Yeah.
I think you got to get Livery in. Attackers, Shea Adams picking up a bit of form, but I think there are better strikers still.
Armstrong.
Yeah, Armstrong. He doesn't play every game, does he?
No.
I think he's got potential though, but he's not. And with Ward-Prowse and the midfielders are they're just boring picks, aren't they? They're not great, but they're sort of better than some of their parts, Saints, I think, as a team. So FPL wise, stay away apart from Livramento. Norwich steer clear, 100%.
Big time.
FPL wise, a pretty boring game, this one.
I think that's what we both agree on.
Yeah.
Good. So next, another 3 o'clock. They just continue and continue. Watford this time at home to Manchester United. Jack, what are you thinking?
Yeah, you know me, my anti-United bias will never die. I think Watford could do something here. I know it's a lot, but they've plucked out some results lately, Watford. They can be awful or they can be really good, a bit like United can. But being at home, I think I'm going to go for my shock of the week as Watford is going to win this.
Oh, Jack, shock of the week.
I do, yeah. United defence, Maguire's still not at the races. I know he scored 2 headers for England, but against nobody really.
Even Kane scored.
Yeah, I mean it'll give him confidence, to be fair, Maguire. But yeah, I think Watford. Or am I just being crazy here? United going to win this? What do you think?
This is why we do it. I think United is still going to be too good.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a United win, but I don't think it's going to be overly convincing. 1 or 2-0 to United, and that's with United's defensive frailties, I still think that they're gonna keep it clean against Watford.
Yeah.
So for the people who may be thinking, you've got Foster in goal, may you want to choose him over someone else? I'm thinking ahead. I've got Ramsdale, for example, hard fixture for him this week. Would you pick Foster over Ramsdale in this situation?
No, because I think United will score.
Yeah.
I think they'll score a goal or 2. Their firepower is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But their defence is so bad. And it's just toxic there, isn't it, at the moment, I think the players want Ole out. Excuse me. And, I wouldn't say... People are looking at Ronaldo, aren't they, now, and thinking, I think after game week 16, they've got a really good run. But I'd use this fixture in the next couple to assess him and to decide whether you want to bring him in or not, see how he performs, and see how United perform as a whole. My thing. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Watford is my prediction though. What are you doing?
1 or 2-0 to United, I think.
Cool.
I'll go 2. There you go.
Cool.
Sorry,
Good luck. Good luck. We'll see who wins that.
Oh, cheers. Good.
Next fixture, Josh. Wolves against West Ham. Bit more of an exciting one.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's quite a few managers that have assets maybe on both sides of the fence in this one. But I think it's undeniable how good West Ham are this year. They've really used last season as a platform, season before as a platform. They're moving in one direction, aren't they, really? They're getting better as a team. And I think that's going to show in this fixture. West Ham win 2 or 3. I'll go 2-0. 2-0.
2-0 West Ham win. Yeah, I agree. 2 or 3-0. I'd go 2-0. I think West Ham are brilliant. I think they're one of the informed teams, and I need some water. Excuse me, viewers. Yeah, I think they are what every non-top 6 team just has always aspired to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, Wolves not quite found their identity since Nuno left, maybe. Do you think?
Completely agree. They're hunting for consistency, aren't they? That's the thing. They're showed it in patches, but they're not there yet. So would that mean for people who have Cody, Sice, try not to play them? Is that
it's
what
not
you're
the best fixture for them, is it? Just not a lot of Semedos and Cody's floating around. Yeah, if you've got the bench, I mean, I'd be very surprised if West Ham didn't score with Antonio Bowen and Fornals and Benrahma firing at them. So yeah, I wouldn't go with a Wolves defender if you can, and I'd still be looking to bring in the Bowens. And there has been some chat about Antonio shipping him out. What's your thought? He hasn't scored in like 4 games. Do you reckon?
Well, we're falling into kind of Tony promises territory, but I don't think what could appear to be that, but I don't think it is that at all, because we've seen underlying stats for Antonio be amazing this year. They're a better team, and he has performed well. The points returns have been there as well. So I think even when he's been blanking, he's still been, the assister to the assister. He's played that pass prior to, always been very, very close. The hockey assist. Yeah. So I think we're seeing a lot of good signs for points to come in the near future. So I'm holding for sure. And the other question is, who are you bringing in his to replace him?
Well, yeah, it would have been Tony, but we don't like him anymore. And I guess if you like Luka Kane and Ronaldo, do you upgrade a bit, downgrade a mid, try and get those 2 up top? But they're very punty. Kane's done nothing. Ronaldo's playing for Man U. I mean, it
feels too
Antonio's
soon.
it does feel too soon. Let's let Antonio cook a bit more.
Yeah.
Leave him in the pan and see what comes out.
Yeah, he's top striker, isn't he? Top point scorer for forwards.
Yeah,
so
as you say, he's done it. Even though the underlying stats were there with Tony, he hasn't done it yet.
Yeah.
We've seen Antonio do it this year already, and we think he'll do it again. And Wolves is a good fixture.
Have faith, guys. Have faith.
Have faith. Right, what's next, Josh?
So the last game on Saturday, the late kick-off, Liverpool at home to Arsenal. What are you thinking?
Toughie. It's a toughie because Arsenal are playing well, but I do think Liverpool are also playing very well. And despite the injury concerns, I'd say Liverpool are going to win this. Probably score a load of goals. 3-1 Liverpool, I'd say. And yeah, Salah will be on the pitch, so there's going to be something happening. Jota, great replacement. Oh no, Jota's in and Mane's in, right? It's just Firmino's injured.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Liverpool to comfortably win this. Ramsdale might be good for Ramsdale, might make some saves, but I'm sure he'll concede.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I agree. I'm hoping for a Liverpool win, but with goals on both sides. And I think Liverpool have shown defensive frailties. I think it's part of that midfield isn't quite working with the players that they've had this year. Some injuries. Henderson isn't 100% fit. They don't know if he's going to play. Simicast looks like he may start at left back. All to be confirmed, obviously. But the front 3 are there. And that's what I think is the confidence at home for Liverpool as well. So I can see a 3-1 or 3-2 even for this game.
So you've got Ramsdale and Foster, Josh, like many will have. Who are you going to play out of them two?
Well, I've kind of been burned a little bit on both sides of trying to pick between these two.
Always the way.
And I think there's nothing between it with the fixtures looking at this. So I think you go with the better player in this one, and the better player is Ramsdale. I think he's got the more potential to potentially get a clean sheet because Arsenal are playing all right, and if not, more save points because he's done that this year already. So I would go with my Ramsdale.
Interesting that you think he'll have he's got potential for most save points and the most potential for a clean sheet, because a lot of times they wouldn't go hand in hand there.
No, I think Arsenal are good enough to keep it clean against Liverpool. I don't have confidence that Watford are good enough to keep it clean against United.
Sound reasoning.
But even if Arsenal do concede, like he has done this season already, and I'm looking at, the double figure point haul he had only a couple of weeks ago, he's got it in him to just be a shot stopper for a game.
Yeah, he does, yeah. I think Foster does, but
Yeah.
I think it is a bit of a coin toss, that one.
There's not much in it.
There's not a lot in it, though. But you're right, Ramsdale's the more informed player, so...
Thanks.
Yeah. Although Foster did save a pen, didn't he, against Aubameyang?
Let's not talk about that.
Oh, sorry. Cool. So, just on this game, you're going to captain Salah?
Always. We're not off that yet, are we? The perma captain, Salah is still that man at the moment.
Definitely still captain. I think a lot of people will move off him.
Great.
Which is good.
Good luck
because, good luck to you if you're doing that, because he will score goals still, probably in this game.
We told you.
Good. Move on to Sunday,
Josh.
So, first one, 2:00 kickoff. Man City against Everton.
I think a City win is definitely on the cards here. Everton, I think, are moving in the wrong direction a little bit with their results. So I think City will smell blood like they do and dismantle them. So I'm going to go with City. I'm just going to go big, 4-0.
You're going that big, are you?
Yeah, I think they're going to pan them.
I don't know. For me, they're not scoring as free-flowingly as they have in previous seasons, City, because they do lack that number 9.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think they'll win, but I'd go with a lower scoring 1-0 or a 2-0. I'll go 2-0 because they're still class, aren't they? And you're right about Everton. They're just... It's not quite clicked for Benitez there yet after some early promising performances, wasn't it? You had like the likes of Townsend and Gray like popping up and banging in worldies, which isn't sustainable.
No, and they don't have DCL back yet. And
no, big loss.
They've had defensive injury problems throughout the course of the season, and other players dropping out for the odd game or whatever. So you could say that's consistency, but all teams have that problem.
Yeah.
What we've seen is their results are lacking in a bit. So
yeah. Just cut that one out.
Bless you.
Cut that out.
So last game.
Yeah.
Is Spurs at home to Leeds. What are you thinking? Spurs at home?
Yeah, I think Spurs are going to win this comfortably, actually. I think the Conte effect will come in strong here. First home game. He's had weeks with the players now. Kane's banged in the goals in the break. The stars seem to be aligning for Spurs on this one. So, and Leeds are just... Apart from Rafinha, they've just not done it this year, have they? Have they won one game, maybe?
I'm not even sure.
Something like that. They did win one against Norwich, I think. So, yeah, I think the Spurs are going to comfortably win it 2 or 3-0. Go 2-0 again. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a bit torn. Part of me thinks, Kane coming strong off of a good goal scoring form for the international break, but he still is that disenchanted employee at Spurs that we keep talking about. Will that translate when he's back wearing, the white of Tottenham? So I still think Conte hasn't had anywhere near enough time with Spurs to have imposed that effect of, that enthusiasm, especially going forward, that he wants. So I think maybe a conservative 1-0 is what I'm going to go for. I can see on their day, I think they would turn them over, but I don't think they've reached that level yet, Spurs. Maybe in a few game weeks.
People are really jumping on Kane and Son, aren't they? transfer-wise. Do you think they're a bit premature about that?
I mean, we know that they both have the quality to get big points, but I think we haven't seen it yet, right? Even Son, when he was scoring points earlier on in the season, the underlying stats were not there for the team, for Spurs, or for him really. He was just overperforming and they were overperforming. That still remains to be true. Conte's a great manager. We've seen great managers fall in the past with teams. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to jump on those, 10 million or 12.5 millions until we see some kind of something to be confident in.
Yeah, it's less Son and Kane at just the rest of their squad, isn't it? That's not,
Yeah.
doesn't fill you with confidence. I mean,
Who's a Skip guy? Skip.
I mean, yeah, the further back you go, the worse it gets in their team, doesn't it? Reece is all right, but it is dire. It is dire. Very dire. So, yeah, and Leeds, play Rafinha, I think he'll always do well in any fixture. He's about all they've got. I think he's created the most chances of any player this season. So, Rafinha, well done.
I'm going to go ahead and say at that price point, he's the best player. Best option.
Best pound for pound.
6.5, yeah.
Best mil for mil player. Big shout.
Big shout.
But fair shout.
Oh, great, thanks.
So, those are the fixtures, Josh. We've done them. Let us know in the comments what you think about the fixtures. Are we right and wrong? Who do you agree with? Put some bets on and blame us when they don't come in.
Whose side do you want?
Yeah, we'll do a little. If this turns out well, we'll do a little bit of this every week, maybe.
Yeah.
And keep track of who's predicted the best.
Oh, okay.
Could try that.
Find out results. Good.
Yeah.
With a little prize at the end.
Sure.
Okay, good.
Okay, deal.
Good.
Done. So thanks for tuning in. These are our faces. So here they are. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends. And thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. See you.
Very
Cheers.
good.